Hello, this is my assignment 4 from real-time rendering, and the topic is map mapping. So now I'm going to briefly introduce the concept of map map and show you the effect of using or not using the map map. So basically what a map map is just a set of pre-calculated texture images. So each time the image is downscaling to its half of the previous size, so in total there are log n of images. So when the 3D sim is rendered, the OpenGL, the system, automatically selects the most appropriate resolution of the texture to use, and there will be some interpolation calculation between the different level of textures. So now I'm going to switch to the scene. So as you can see here, I have a very large plane and I have a checkerboard texture. So the UI here, map mapping, the type is 0, means it is using the map mapping technique, and 1 is not using the map mapping technique. So we can see there are no difference when from a very close distance. But if I change the view a little bit, now you can see for the map mapping for the map mapping we can see that from the far away distance the effect is blurring. So the reason is that so the distance increases, lower resolution map map levels are selected for the sampling, and because the map mapping technique I use, the filtering technique for map mapping I use is the linear interpolation. So it will process between the map map levels to be smoothed the transition between different levels of detail. So this can reduce aliasings and create more visually pleasing results. But if I choose not using the map mapping, so as you can see, this is the effect of not using a map mapping. You can see that it's very bad. And when I change the view a little bit, you can see there is a very obvious more effect. But if I use map mapping, it will become smoother. And because I use the linear filtering technique, that means the map map, the different levels of map map are calculating the linear interpolation. So if in the distance far away, it will become blurred. The color will become gray. And the result is more pleasing using the map mapping. This is not using the map mapping. See, from the distance, and this is using the map mapping, not using map mapping. And now I'm going to go very far away. For the not using map mapping, you can see the texture are changing very frequently, the effect. And when the distance becomes enough far away, the checkerboard appears again. And moving closer. Moving closer. Okay. So if I select the map mapping, you can see it is more smooth, but also more blurred. And because the linear interpolation, when the distance are far from distance, it will become like entirely gray. And when I for the not using map mapping, the effect is like this. Okay, that's my demonstration. Thank you for watching.